man, it's just special to see the city of Houston just on the come up again. And I'm just blessed enough to be the vessel that Christ picked to lead this great franchise. So I can do nothing but just thank the Lord.
What's up, everybody on YouTube? AJ Russ back to discuss another video, and today we're going to be talking about why the Houston Texans are now the best team in Texas. Yes, I already know y'all are about to be like, you're from Houston, of course you were going to say that. First and foremost, the Texans are by far not my favorite team. It will actually surprise you who my favorite team is, but I'm keeping that anonymous for now. Only the people that know me know who that team is. But anyways, the move with the Stephon Diggs trade, I know some people will probably say that Diggs maybe isn't the same player, but if you just look at the Texans offseason in its totality of the team, you can make the case that they've had the best offseason out of any NFL team so far in 2024. With moves acquiring running back Joe Mixon from the Bengals and extending him, also getting Daniel Hunter from the Vikings on the defensive end to shore up D'Amico Ryan's defense even more, having Nico Collins again, who played phenomenal last season, and the return of Tank Dell from injury next season, that team is going to be scary. I mean, you can make the argument that they have the best receiving core in the NFL, if not the best, one of the best for sure. And the Texans, they're really building something special in Houston around CJ Stroud, who you can make the argument is already a top 5 quarterback in the league as a rookie. In my opinion, hands down, had the greatest rookie year of all time and is going to continue to ascend and elevate and galvanize the team. I think that the Texans are looking way better than the Dallas Cowboys going into next season. And of course, I'm mentioning the Cowboys because this is declaring that the Texans are the better team in Texas. Now, that's of course not to say that the Cowboys won't be in the playoffs next year. The AFC is still more stacked than the NFC, and even though I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles will win the NFC East next season, not only because they've improved, but also no one has repeated as division champions in the NFC East since 2004, so there's some superstition with that. But I just believe that the Cowboys, they aren't the team that they were even this past season in 2023. Dak had an MVP level year, but stunk it up in the playoffs, and it wasn't only his fault that they lost in that game against Green Bay. That team literally collapsed defensively. Dan Quinn had an awful game plan, and really that defense was flawed in terms of stopping the run. They had potential to be better, but they were so lateral and idle in free agency, and we'll see what they do in the draft. But this team is just really flawed in my opinion. They still have great pieces, they still have a talented roster, but they didn't fill any of their holes. Running back is still a question. Like I said, they can address that in the draft, but they're going to be relying on Rico Dowdle and potentially a rookie running back. And the running back by committee approach has worked for teams in the past. We'll see what it does in Dallas, but just a lot of questions, in particular with Dak Prescott. Potentially it seems like he's going to play this last year on a contract, and if I had to make a prediction, they'll probably extend him in free agency next year, but who knows. But honestly, the better situation is with the Texans right now. You have CJ Stroud on a rookie deal. They're trying to go right now. They're trying to contend for a Super Bowl, especially with the season that they had last year. But before I dive deeper into the video and analyze why I think the Texans have a brighter future and honestly just a better team right now than the Cowboys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. You know what we post about here: sports, lifestyle, and pop culture, NBA, NFL, Marvel, DC, YouTube shorts, all types of content. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So I want to talk about the Texans 2023 season some more. Now, I can see the argument behind this video with people saying that the Texans, they didn't have any expectations for 2023. Now in 2024, everyone is expecting them to be better. They're not going to catch anyone off guard. The whole league recognizes how great CJ Stroud is and the culture that the Texans are building, and teams are going to be looking out for them now, especially in the AFC, which is so stacked. You still have the Chiefs. When healthy, you have the Bengals, who are always a threat. Even though the Bills cut a lot of their players and got rid of Stephon Diggs, they're still a threat with Josh Allen. The Jets are a huge question mark depending on health. The Miami Dolphins, the Steelers now with Russell Wilson potentially, and Justin Fields. We'll see who ends up starting, but I feel like Justin Fields, it's inevitable that he's going to take the starting role. But there's just a lot of teams in there, but the Texans, we have to put them at top 3 to 4 in terms of contenders in the AFC, but there's going to be pressure for sure because you have a win now ready team with a sophomore year quarterback now, and I do believe that for the most part they will live up to expectations. We'll see how they do execute. Bobby Slowick returning as offensive coordinator in CJ Stroud's second season is huge for that team because he could have taken a head coaching job, but that's remaining continuity for sure and just allowing CJ Stroud to be more sharp in the game plan and in the system. But for me, that's going to be very beneficial to the team as a whole. CJ Stroud could have an MVP caliber year next year, and really before he got injured in that Jets game in 2023 as a rookie, he was having an MVP caliber year, so that wouldn't catch anyone off guard. Last season he had 23 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and threw for over 4,100 yards. So he's gonna hoop, he's gonna do his thing, and he's gonna ball and the team get better. And he has that confidence and that swagger, and he's super poised. Like I said in my NFL videos throughout the season, he is a definition of poised, relaxed, calm, cool, and collected. So he's gonna be able to do great things and be a great leader for the Texans and keeping God first through it. So that's another thing to love about him. But they just have a lot of direction, and I don't see that right now for the Cowboys. Jerry Jones said that they're all in, but all they've been all in on is being still and content and intact, and that's not going to get you anywhere in the NFL. Now I guess they aren't trying to overblow any expectations, but with the Cowboys, with the brand, how profitable they are and how people talk about them, there's going to be expectations always. And Jerry Jones talks about how he wants the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl again before his inevitable mortality, and you would think he would have a sense of urgency in the free agent market, but he didn't even reach out to Derrick Henry, who was genuinely interested in playing for the Cowboys, and he also lives in Dallas during the offseason. That would have been a perfect match for them. Didn't do anything there. Tony Pollard left, and there was a lot of running backs available as well besides those two, especially on that first day of free agency, and nothing happened. They stayed idle, and right now they only have Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn, and we know that's not enough, so they're gonna look towards the draft potentially. There's been talk about them trying to get Ezekiel Elliott back, but that is nothing compared to the Texans in my opinion. They now have Joe Mixon, who was really productive for the Bengals, and they also have Dameon Pierce, who had a great rookie year, and he's dealt with his injuries, but he's still a serviceable running back, and especially for a running back too. Wide receiver wise, you definitely have the Texans beat in terms of CeeDee Lamb at wide receiver 1, but beyond wide receiver 1, the overall group, the Texans win that. And quarterback wise, Dak is a top 10 level quarterback, but based off of last season, especially in the playoffs and how CJ Stroud stepped up in the playoffs, most people would take Stroud over Dak, and I can't blame them because Dak has a 2-5 playoff record. So it is unfortunate if you are a Cowboys fan to hear this type of video and just really hear the Cowboys talked about this way. I mean, people are going to talk about them regardless. They drive headlines, they drive the stories, they drive the NFL, but unfortunately that's the only thing they're driving because they haven't been to a conference championship or Super Bowl since 1995-96 season. And sure, they've had competitive teams, they've had playoff caliber teams in the past 3 to 4 years, and really throughout the Dak era in the past 8 years, but we haven't seen them get beyond a second round. And I will say this, in the NFL, I think people value teams getting to the conference championship or to the Super Bowl too much. Yes, it's a great thing to get there, but if you aren't winning a Super Bowl, I mean, gosh, why are you so valued? The Bills made the Super Bowl 4 times in a row in the 1990s and never won, and they still don't have a Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, when are we going to talk about teams like the 49ers, who, yes, they've made the Super Bowl this season and in the 2019-20 season, but they lost, so they're close but no cigar, and they haven't won since before the Cowboys. So there's just a lot of questions about that as well. I do question to see some of the perspectives from people, but that's not to make an excuse for the Cowboys. It's really just to talk about how if you aren't winning at all, you have flaws, and right now the Cowboys have a lot of them, and the Texans, they look better for next season, but the game isn't played on paper. It is April, it's still early, you have the draft, and even still some free agents on the market who can help impact your team. So we'll see what transpires and occurs, but right now I do think the Texans are the best team in the Lone Star State. But anyways, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Who is the best team in Texas right now? Do you think it's the Texans? Do you think that the Cowboys are still going to be competitive? These teams do play in the 2024 season in Dallas. It'll be interesting to see when they play. Could try to pull up because, like I said, I live in Houston. I know it's going to be in Dallas, but that'll be a great game to go to, and it'll be entertaining. I know a lot of fans of both franchises here in Texas are going to be talking a lot, so that'll be intriguing. In the CJ Stroud era that just commenced and just started last season, it's going to be awesome to see what they do and also to see what the Cowboys do as well, because we know that they're always going to drive storylines and narratives with Jerry Jones, I believe beyond him as well, because everyone recognizes that star and that Cowboy brand. But right now the Texans look better and poised for a better future. But with all that being said, guys, I appreciate you watching always. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SwaggyRuss, and also on TikTok at SwaggyRuss02 for cooking videos, shorts, content, all things of that nature. More videos are on the way. If you haven't checked out my NBA playoff preview series, go check that out. More NFL videos will be coming soon, especially with the draft coming up and things of that nature. So yeah, y'all stay tuned. Hope you are doing well, being blessed. You are loved, you matter, God loves you. Be blessed, and I hope y'all are having a good one.